Well, I know my sounds aren't quite right yet. So this is the first live stream on the first world tour. Try to get my tongue to work properly. We've been cleared for takeoff. We've got a couple of people joined us today. Get down to altitude and see what I can do to fly this big bird. We're in the Hype H145 Airbus, which is probably obvious to most of you that'll view this. I'm just cruising along about a little bit over speed. See what I can do to fix that. Silly me. I know better. Okay, and I didn't set up my... Just a basic flight today, but we do have quite a few miles to cover, so I'm not going to mess around with low altitude forever. We've got a couple mountains we're going to have to jump to, so we will try to navigate as we go over goodness. Take a note. Write down notes. I think it's Dubai, might be. It's probably not. If I check my flight plan, I'd probably find out, but haven't run this but one time. We are on the 5th leg of a world tour. Probably take us every bit of almost a year, 350 flights if we can manage that. We might have to jump in a fixed wing for part of it. I hope not. I'm hoping I can schedule it to drop off into an aircraft carrier and we can fuel there. I do have one 512 nautical mile leap that will be a little bit out of reach for the 145. But I'll make alternate plans when I create that flight plan. Until then, hey, appreciate you joining us. Hope you join us every week. Tune into my YouTube channel. I'm going to try to stream both of these to the Twitch and the YouTube channels. Not today, though. Just kind of a maiden flight. We won't actually hook up with the World Tour flight plan until after next week. And I'm going to take a week off. I've flown about 2,000 miles getting here. And I've got some things to do. We'll take the schedule and just go on vacation for about 9 days. Miss one. At least that's the plan. I'm going to ease around this waypoint. No, it's 34 miles. Get down that fast. Oh, we do have some followers back there. I see BMG behind us. He's also attempting the world tour. If you stay with me, we're going to go a little bit past him today. Hello, Convel. Good afternoon.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening to you. Appreciate you joining me. I was just talking to the Twitch stream. I didn't post that information on the community folder. This is pretty much my maiden voyage. So how are you doing today, Conzel?
I'm doing good. I see gentlemen here are flying helicopters, so I'm reloading in mine.
You know, it really doesn't matter a whole lot as long as you don't find a problem with overspeed. We are in a lot of us in helicopters. That was kind of the point of my world tour. I'm going to attempt a 71,000-mile world tour, accomplishing about 2 hour, 3 hour sometimes flights. Where'd you hear about this flight? Were you with BMG?
I saw you on the Microsoft forums.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I didn't post the Twitch feed because, like I said, this is basically my maiden voyage. We've run about 5 flights. I think we've been at it for. This is like 5. And we won't actually hook up with the flight plan that I'm going to fly 70,000 miles till after next week. But appreciate you joining us for sure.
It sounds like fun. Well, right now I'm on vacation, so I've got the time to enjoy the flight simulator. So looking forward to the flight.
Great. Did you download the R44 from Rotorsim Pilot today?
Yes, I did. I'm going to fly the 135
because you can fly it.
Exactly.
I played with it, the 44 this morning, just to see what it was like. I had to make a lot of changes with I'm just not a good enough helicopter pilot. That's really why I got the B-47 and the R-44, was just because my landings, I can't quite stick them sometimes.
Okay, yeah, that R-44, it's going to take some practice. It's a handful.
2 handfuls. I have arthritis in both hands, and my right hand, unfortunately, is worse than my left. That rudder just killed my wrist this morning. I'm feeling the pain. Advice to all the young folk: never get old.
Well, unfortunately, I'm well on my way.
Me too. And treat your body well. Somebody once said, cherish the years of your youth. And I'm finding out why. If I'd have valued my youth a little better, I wouldn't have treated my body and my mind like I did. Old age is starting to really not be pleasant. I have to take a call. The landlord calls at just the right time. I touched in the yellow there. I guess I better slow down a little bit. I'm going to get low level too. What's your altitude back there, Conville?
Yeah, right now I'm at 1,000. Looks like I'm going to need a little bit more, maybe.
How far are you behind me? Are you back with the rest of the guys back there?
Hard to tell how far I'm going to slow protection.
Yeah, I really wish they would. Okay, you're Sneed, aren't you? Oh no, I see. Okay, your name's Adam. May I call you Adam?
Yeah, by all means. Yes,
Very
sir.
good. I've been called Iceman so long, I just answered to it. Truck driver for 14 years, so.
I was a truck driver for about 12 years there before I picked up and moved to Germany.
Oh, Germany. So you're around Red Heron. Do you know Red?
I fly in the groups with him when they're on.
Roger.
Often.
Roger. Yeah, he
I
seems.
think Red is up north. I think he's up around Hamburg, isn't he?
You know, I really don't know, and I don't press for even first names if I don't notice it in your tag. I'll ask area, but I'm actually mostly German, and I should know. And all I can remember is we traced our family history back like 1,500 years, and I come from somewhere in the Rhine. It starts with a W. Big area.
Oh, that could be a lot of it. It starts with a W.
Yeah.
I'm in the Nordrhein-Westfalen, which is the state.
Okay.
And the area is the Bergische Rhine area. I'm kind of between Cologne and Dusseldorf, but then east of them a little ways.
I really should fly Germany more than I do. I have a ton of German scenery packs. I've seen a lot of the castles, but I don't know where I am when I'm flying them. I don't, even this flight, I have limited resources, so I don't always load little nav map. Oh, there goes that yellow again. Trying to lose some altitude. But yeah, just because I claim the heritage, I suppose I ought to know more about it. And I could look it up. I don't know. It's like Westergaard or something like. I don't know. It's one of the bigger towns. I do know that much. And you said city and state. I wouldn't know the difference in Germany. What's what? That's a shame. I really ought to.
Well, there's 16 states in Germany.
Okay.
Where I live is kind of like the Midwest of Germany. We're on the west side of Germany, but yeah, it's beautiful here. It's and people are nice, and I like it.
We started the flight, I think, in GBVD. It's Mannheim, I think. Let me look at my file base, and I can tell you where we started months and months ago, or a month ago or so, a little more. Started in Munich. I knew it was big. Started in Munich. We'll end up back in Munich. I may end up joining back up with doing this flight over again and maybe modifying it to join back up with the actual world tour start. But I enjoy the Alps, and I fly a lot of Innsbruck to Innsbruck.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there in the Alps. Yeah, and I haven't spent much time in South Germany. I've been to Munich one time, and that was just through the airport. So.
I should pull up my little nav map and tell you closer to where my family was from, but history tells us that my great whatever it was, oh, I gotta give somebody permission here. Commander King came in, and the German army came in and told him to convert to Catholicism or he was going to be beheaded. He had less than 24 hours to make the decision. Came back the next morning and chopped his head off. 2 years or so later, I guess the family made the decision to get on two brothers, got on the ship, two brothers, left Mother Holpush, I'm not sure how it's exactly pronounced, and got two dots above the U, the second U. Kissed Mother Hollowbush is what we call her in English. Goodbye, and got on the ship. The two brothers headed for America. It took them several months to get here, through England, of course.
Yeah, the history here is pretty remarkable. You can get everything from Romans to Vikings.
Right.
World Wars. You can get a little bit of everything here.
I know it. I'm extremely biblical, and I'm trying to trace back, I believe, our family crest, because it has a tent on it. It's going to be of one of the Levitical tribes, but I haven't got that far back. History's shady. Is that aircraft coming through to you too loud?
No, I don't hardly hear the aircraft at all.
Okay, you didn't hear my ATC talking at me?
Oh, I could hear that off the background, but it wasn't bothering me.
It wasn't obnoxious. Okay, good. Like I say, I'm just starting these on Twitch. I'm gonna go live with camera next week, I believe, if it all works out. But about 5.5 miles from Waypoint 1. Did you download the flight plan?
Yeah, I've got the flight plan.
Excellent. Well, we had another one jump on the server a few minutes ago. A couple minutes ago. I'm going to need to make that more clear too. When you landed on the server, you didn't have any idea what room to go to, did you? Or did I say flight room 1?
Yeah, no, I didn't have any idea.
Yeah, I was afraid I put flight room 1 on it. I need to make that more clear also. I'll make sure I said it a few minutes ago. I'll say it again. Take a note. I'm going to write that down. Take a note.
Yeah, I got the feeling when I saw the size of the group, this is a new group you're getting started.
Well, it's new server.
Yeah, new server.
Yeah, it's new server. I've had it up a while, and I really didn't intend on building it into any populace. I'm ex-IT professional and do a little bit of IT at this point for the church, but other than that, I'm retired. And when I started it, I really just wanted a quiet place to get to know Discord, to get to know this sim. And when I found everybody on Hype, it was like, oh man, I'm learning something every time I fly with these guys. So I've been flying with them pretty much. And I'm talking to, are you on the Hype server? I didn't look at our common connections.
Yeah. Yes,
I've got to call in to Steve. He's on a business meeting until today, actually. I may get to speak with him this evening, but we're going to probably end up migrating the comms to either Rotor Sim Pilot or to the Hype servers. I think he wanted me to do it on hype previously, and I made a bad life choice and ended up with some other folks that are actually flying behind us here. Some of them opened up a guy's server. He had it all locked down. I'm being the security guy I am with the internet. I saw him on his voice channel, and I didn't know it was him. I landed there, and I had to push to talk. I didn't have any permissions. I couldn't see any rooms, and the ones that I could see, I, blacked out. I couldn't do anything, couldn't see history or anything. This isn't interesting. It's got 28 members. Why are they still here? They can't do anything. So I went into his voice chat, and I said, I don't know anything about this server. I'm not even real sure where I got it from. Now I know, but he says, "Oh yeah, this is my site." And I'm like, "Are you aware that your patrons can't do anything on your server?" He says, "No. What do you mean? I've got everything, here." I said, "Yeah, but you've got to open it up." So I spent all night and about a week and a half. I don't want to say teaching or training, but I showed him the ropes on the servers. Opened it up, built his little 8 member server to, I think he's up to 80 something now. And he got a big head. Rotor Sim Pilot contacted him, wanted to know if he wanted to do these world tours on Rotor Sim Pilot, or at least be connected with it. And I told him, I says, "You're in big time there now. If he's serious about that, you've got something to talk to about him. You don't want to lose that connection." Oh, he got a big head. He's a marijuana smoker, and he's all about cannabis. He says he's the CEO of Cannabis Incorporated in South Africa. Well, long story, but the end of it was his rules changed on his site last week. He cussed out Minden. He cussed out Winston Churchill. He cussed out Reed, I think, and Red Heron, and told them if call them names. I mean, just foul names, and told them if they didn't like it. And then all of a sudden, he actually made a post that, we don't allow fags. We don't allow, if you don't like pot, go somewhere else. Or I think he used the F word. No, it was when he said, I don't do man-made religions, and if you're gonna push your man-made religion, F off. I'm like, okay. I stuck around long enough to watch some fireworks, and he gave me the boot. I didn't say anything. I made no comments. It was his server. He could do what he wants on it. I was really just interested in being the first one to make a world tour 70,000 miles in the helicopter. Hype helicopters, one or all. So
that sounds good to me.
That's what this is about. I'm trying to actually make, I don't know if it'll make Guinness's, but it'll make my heart feel good that I can make that claim the first to do it. And if I get going too quick up here, I try to keep it below 120, but I see I crop up every now and again. I think my true airspeed's only 103, so it should be all right.
Yeah, you're not getting away.
Again, I'm not the best helicopter pilot. I've flown flight simulators since the early 90s, late 80s. Done some scenery creation back in FS9, and done a lot with Microsoft Flight Simulator over the years, but this is something. The 145 is actually the first payware aircraft I have ever purchased. So.
Yeah, the 145 I have not purchased.
I'm
fairly new to Flight Sim. I got Flight Sim when it came out this 2020.
So oh yeah.
I got me a new computer a year ago, and Flight Simulator.
That's sweet.
Years years ago, I used to fly ultralights back in Kansas.
In flights? Oh, in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my pilot's license when I was 16, going to Florida Air Academy in Melbourne. Is that you?
Yeah.
I got my pilot's license in Melbourne when I was 16, and I just got the bug. When I discovered the first flight simulator, we were flying in polygons. You know what polygons are?
Yeah, roughly.
Back in the day, we didn't even dream of 3D, much less being able to see the grass and the leaves blow with the wind or having wind effects. You flew in a box, basically, landed on two lines that you didn't know what the elevation was, except for the documentation of that scenery. Back in the day. It's definitely come a long way, and yeah, this is the first time I've spent literally thousands of dollars to fly this sim. And I've heard them complain about it. You know what? I'll send you a picture. You can look at my screenshots then and now, and it's just, oh man. We didn't even dream of this. This was not even a thought.
Yeah, I saw a flight sim, but that was probably back in the 80s somewhere.
Right.
And wasn't all that interested in what I saw.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is the next one I saw, and I thought, oh, okay, well, that's come a long ways.
Yeah, it's come a long ways. This is nice. Like I said, I've heard them complain about what Microsoft has promised. And you know what? And you probably don't know this, but back in FS9, they created FSX. And when they did, they said this will be the last simulator. They would never make another flight simulator. Wouldn't put their name to it. We're not going to be in the flight sim business. It's basically what Microsoft said. Well, the community grew in FS9 to a point where I actually was part of a project called the Indiana.zip project, and we used the USCG map data to map out every waterway at correct elevation, correct dimensions, and area, the highways, roadways, and airport runways in the exact elevation throughout the entire state of Indiana. And that was my first beta program that I participated in. I got stories I tell about my days in Flight Simulator. I flew in the Flight Simulator fly-in number 11, Microsoft fly-in number 11, CompuServe and Earthlink. And back then it was IRC. You didn't have Discord or really chat. We called it it was called IRC, Internet Relay Chat. And I actually programmed my first bot, my first software for that environment. Anyway, I asked the system operators, on this fly-in, we're flying to LAX, people from all around the world. At the time, they had what they called Microsoft Flight Simulator Flight Shop. And you could actually, if you had the correct specs on any aircraft, you could accurately create that aircraft. For the first time in the sim, we had not just scenery creation, but you could build your own aircraft. I got on IRC and I asked the sysop, so I'm flying 11, what can I fly? And if you can land it, you can fly anything you want. All right. So ICE333 took off from KBMG, BMG. Anyway, Bloomington, Monroe County Regional in Indiana, because at the time I was created the part on the creation of the Indiana project. And I created in Flight Shop Flight Simulator the first Goodyear blimp, complete with lights. Took off from BMG, Indiana, Monroe County Airport, and took 2.5 weeks to fly to LAX. Yes, constant in the air, refueling artificially, but it took 2.5 weeks. So when I landed at LAX on approach, and they had, the whole point to this was they had created ATC that you could actually communicate with. I'm lagging here a little bit. I hope it doesn't. I'm stuttering.
Yeah, I was too.
Okay, it's got to be in the scenery then. As long as I don't crash, I'm good. So here I am coming into LAX, and you got to imagine people have been building their own aircrafts, flying generic aircraft, stock aircraft anyway, from around the world, literally jetliners coming in, landing on LAX, and experimentals, moseying along, get communication with ATC, cleared to land. They land. Here comes ICE333. 38 minutes on final. Now, if you've ever dealt with ATC, you know that they want quick, rapid progression. You got other aircraft behind you. You're holding up the show, Iceman. I said, well, you know what? You said I could fly anything I wanted. Well, what are you flying? I'm flying a Goodyear blimp. What? Okay, they opened a closed runway for me. 38 minutes on final. Opened a closed runway. I land. I took 3 major awards, email awards, that I claimed, and I can never remember what the third one is. I think it was most unique aircraft, but longest flight. Yeah, it was most unique aircraft, longest flight, something else. And Microsoft banned dirigibles from that fly-in on. They would not sponsor, no, you can't. That's just out of the question. Because they're looking at hot air balloons now. I'm powered. I got engines. And I'm holding up the show at about 12 knots. You got to imagine a balloon. And that's what Microsoft was. They said, no more of that. Won't have that again.
Well, that's like Microsoft with its flight sim.
Oh, yeah.
There is an issue with fully supporting helicopters in this flight sim.
Well, you may not realize it, but there is a large sailplane community. And they've also left the tow plane and any other ability to get off the ground other than spawning in the air. In FS9, FSX, they had a tow plane that you could summon by Control X or Control Shift Y, I think it was. And that was cool, but they totally left out helicopters and sailplanes. And I think the reason was they didn't want to they had too much on their plate until the sim came along. Asobo was creating kids games, Mario Brothers type kids games, animated. Okay, so I'm not going to call names, but you know what I'm saying. So now they're in 3D, and I think they didn't want to be troubled too much on their plate to create thermals, to put the dynamics for thermals in the sim, because they've already got world data. They got a lot going on, and to make leaves blow and grass blow, accurate wind conditions. That's a lot of programming. People don't understand. Yeah, yeah. Where we've come from, I just have to look at these guys and say, you know what? I'm tired of hearing it. Do me a favor, go back and fly FSX or FS9, or better yet, go back to Windows 3.1 and get you a good copy of FS2 and tell me you won't enjoy what you got for $100.
Yeah, I know. I think it's great.
What?
And I don't know how they did it, but I wish delivered this. American Roberson is going to be delivering us some
Very accurate. Yeah, very, very acceptable.
What's to complain about? It's great.
Somebody just jumped me. Fly right through me. I bet I know who that's going to be. No, it was Ellie Jobs. He should be with us. I don't know why he hasn't joined the comms, because he's probably on these comms. See how far back they are.
That was the first time I gave a telephone number to join the Discord server. I don't know, that might be scaring some folks.
Oh, did I do that? I thought.
SMS to my telephone in German.
My bad. Okay, I'll fix that. Yeah, I sure will. I set it up that way because I've got at least one, I don't want to say enemy, but we're not on best of terms right now. And he's a hacker, a programmer, a network administrator, and he's a young buck with an attitude. So I really wanted to just protect the server and everybody that joined it, because I don't know, any of you guys really. So I'll fix that though. I tried to watch closely. Like I said, I've got the welcome screen up as we speak to make sure if anybody comes in, I can give you permissions as soon as you come in. And I thought that was a Discord thing that you had to identify with your phone. I know my phone number is associated to Discord because I have two phones. One of them is now shut off, and I couldn't create my profile on Discord because I already had one associated to the other number. So I'm pretty sure Discord requires it. So that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm on. Well, since I started Flight Sim, I discovered Discord. Now I'm on probably, I don't know, 15, 18 different servers, all centered around Flight Sim.
Yeah, I've got more than that.
That's the first time I had to confirm with the telephone number, though.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now. I'm not watching very good. I should get a speed attitude and hit autopilot. Message. Roll of stickers. Moderation. Well, I don't see where that is. I'll have to look the server over a little better when I can pay attention to it.
Enough to do. I was pleasantly surprised because it asked for country code, and you just got a drop down list, so you pick your country code, put your telephone number in, and it sends a 6-digit code.
Yeah, I would.
6-digit code, that opens it up.
I would have to tell you that Discord handles that, because I'm sure it didn't go through my phone company. That's interesting. Man, why am I not finding it? These emojis rolls. Hello, you. Huh. Wow. We're going to end up going through Istanbul. That's what it is. I started to say it was. I can't remember the other one. But when we get close to it, we might drop down. The other guys, that's going to be shortly thereafter, about 10 miles, they're going to drop out. I'm going all the way down into about another twice as far as they are. Basically just to get away. I don't know how many people have followed me. I cannot see where that was. Drive me nuts. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna fly. I'm getting some speed now. I better back off. Yeah, I don't even see you. You've dropped out on my screen.
Yeah, I didn't see you anymore. I could see BMG and who's back there?
Yeah, let me see.
There's BM Gother Control Freak back there.
Yeah, that's all I see.
135 right here next to me in the Lufthansa.
Yeah, that's Elijot. Yeah, that's Elijot. He's been with us from the start, which is kind of cool. He's hung right in there. Sometimes he'll join the servers. He joined my server. I'm not sure if he went back to the other one. He never came into the voice chat. And I DM'd him like I did you and told him I've given you full permissions to the rooms now. He thanked me for it, so he knows he has access. I don't know. He may have gone back to BM go through servers for comms. I tend to talk too much.
Not bothering me. Are you back behind Control Freak and BMG?
No, I'm in front of them.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just server then.
Oh yeah, happens all the time.
Yeah, and it's gotten much worse since SU5. The dropouts there on group flights.
I didn't have any problems with it until SU5.
Yeah, seems like it was pretty stable until then. And I'm sure Microsoft will fix it eventually.
Yep. Okay, it's time for a little nav map to see where we are.
I think I'll pull my speed back a little bit. Let folks catch up.
Well, like I said, most of the ones that are actually behind us are not gonna stay with us. They were flying on Miles High Club flight.
Okay.
that's where we started this. Like I said, I brought it over here because, like I said, he ticked off pretty much the whole Rudderhead community last week and said, if you don't like it, on you.
Yeah, that Miles High Club, I went to his server, I think last week, and was there just very briefly and figured out, nah, that's not where I want to be. I just really
I'm sorry for that. I helped him open that site, and it just really live and learn. You know, you try to trust.
It's not about her doing good things for other folks.
No.
It's a matter of how other folks then run with that.
Right. And I can't apologize for him because it's not my doing. That's his choices, and he's going to do what he's going to do. And it'll all come out in the wash.
Yeah, karma has its way.
Okay. Okay, we should be coming up on Istanbul. Let's see what the mileage there looks like, about 50 or 70 miles. Let's see, it's down.
Whatever the next point is, I show about
24
miles.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, no, we're 23 miles. Okay. If you want to drop down and see Istanbul, we can do that. Because it's a long flight, I'm all for continuing at that altitude. You know, I do the helicopter because I enjoy the scenery, and I feel like I'm flying faster on the ground.
Yeah, well, and at 1,500 feet here, you got a good view of the scenery anyway.
Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. If you're good with that, I'm good with that.
Yep, works for me.
I'll drop back down anyway, a little bit anyway, by the time I get there. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting journey. I hope you'll be able to join me on much of it, or as much as you can. Maybe you can give me you can commentate the flights around Germany, because I sure wish I had somebody that knew some of these areas. I've actually loaded Bush Talker Radio to give us a little entertainment on the flights. And some say it's annoying, others say, oh, that's the way to go, because it gives you local radio, and then the lady breaks in, and if there's anything POI, she tells you all about it.
Okay, well, that's cool. I've never heard it.
Yeah, it's called Bush Talk Radio. And the only way that we've found to do it in the sim, I can load it in my stream digitally, but it doesn't come through Discord digitally unless I load it into and focus on it as a shared screen in Discord. And then you can view or just listen to that screen share, and you get a digital feed of the web browser that's actually giving the tour commentation. That's the only way we've found to do it, and we contacted Bush Talker. That's the only workaround that they have.
Okay, I may have to check that out then. Bush Talk Radio.
Yeah, I don't have it loaded. Let me look at my. I could load it up if you want it. It might give us something. When you enter the area of these POIs, it will actually come up and give you that digital commentation. I think it's cool personally, but like I said, other people, because she's a little long-winded sometimes. I'll give them that. She is a little long-winded at times. But I'm into history and into knowledge, basically. Are you a spiritual man, Adam?
I don't deny
Don't mean to ask personal questions.
others' beliefs. I'll put it that way. I was raised Catholic.
Well, what that tells me from most of people's uh, responses is that you're not Catholic anymore.
I'm not something else. I'll put it that way. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm not trying to proselytize. I only asked to say this, that because I go by that stuff. I prayed Solomon's prayer, and I got what I asked for. Actually, gained a lot of knowledge and great yearning for knowledge and understanding. Made me dive deep into the Word, and so knowledge is a thing. I'm into history, and knowledge of these sites is kind of a thing to me. That's all I was going to say about it.
That's great. Yeah. Oh, you would not want to drive that interstate down there. I just passed over.
Is that the Audubon?
Yeah, well, I don't know what it's called here, but it's like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down.
Okay, that's not the one that's a 140 mile an hour speed limit.
Well, I mean, the Audubon here, there's places where there is no speed limit.
Okay.
And most of it is reduced around cities now, and it gets more and more controlled as time goes on. My wife is German, that's why I'm here. I moved here to marry her anyway. Years ago, it wasn't as controlled, and as time goes on, there's more and more and more cars. It's more and more controlled because there's people just crashing all over.
Oh yeah, that was going to be my next question. Was, do they have a lot of accidents?
Yep.
Bummer.
And the wife is a paramedic, so
man,
she gets to work a lot of that.
Well, that right there, in combined with my spirituality, is why I quit driving truck. I trained in CPR. I can do that, and I was able to at one point, but I found myself first on the scene of so many fatalities. Just people. I watched an SUV. It just chokes me when I try to tell this story, but I watched an SUV spit women and children out of it, 8 passengers one time. Just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, within a few feet in front of my truck, just took a jerk on the wheel or whatever. For whatever reason, he did flips, just boinkity boinkity bouncing on the highway and spitting passengers out. 7 dead on just being the first on the scene. There was nothing I could do for him, but I found myself unable to, I don't know, I hesitate to say unable to manage my emotions, but I fell down in prayer. I couldn't do anything more than what my God could do for them. And that's where I went. And I wasn't being helpful on the scene anymore as the first responder. I just had to get out. I couldn't take the mental anxiety that
the Bosporus or Bosphorus is a narrow,
okay.
strait
Are you
and
watching? I didn't share my stream.
waterway located in northwestern Turkey. It forms part of the continental boundary between Europe and Asia, and divides Turkey by separating Anatolia from Thrace.
I should have shared my
screen. It is the world's narrowest strait used for international navigation. The Bosporus connects the Black Sea with the Sea of
If you view my
Marmara,
stream,
and,
you can
by
hear it
extension,
digitally, and
via
I can turn it down
the
so
Aegean
it's not
and
so loud on you.
Mediterranean Seas, and
You're
by the
probably
Kerch
getting
Strait,
feedback
the
and everything
Sea of
else out of it.
Most of the shores of the strait, except for those in the north, are heavily settled, straddled by the city of Istanbul's metropolitan population of 17 million inhabitants extending inland from both coasts. Together with the Dardanelles, the Bosporus forms the Turkish Straits.
If you view that, let me know so I tune how I need to on these flights that I do that. I haven't, like I said, some people have voiced the opinion that they just found it obnoxious because a lot of them are much more lengthy, should we say.
Okay.
But there's a lot of knowledge there. I know I've
Nice learning about the places. It's nice hearing about what's there and what it's about.
I have found Marco Polo's birthplace behind us, just a couple of legs behind us. I ran into Marco Polo's birthplace, and in 1969, I think it was, a U.S. military jet carrying a senator and his, I don't know, cabinet people. The story goes that the pilot had tuned to ILS. It's about like this, got several, not mountains, but good hills around. And on approach, you had one you literally had to go around and come back into. And 38 on board crashed into a mountainside because military jets at that time didn't have the same abilities that the commercial jets had. They had radar, and the military jets, passenger jets, transport jets didn't need it. They weren't armed, and they didn't need the radar. They, need to know who was coming up. Pretty much VFR under IFR conditions, and they crashed. 38 dead. One survived long enough to make it part way to the hospital. And I found that interesting that we had a point in history that our Americans crashed on in our aircraft and were killed merely by lack of financial spending, because that's all that is. Congress wouldn't give them the funds to. Yeah.
That's a story of military history throughout the world. Though you spend money on what suits the military mind, and safety is purely a secondary effect.
Yeah. So that's what got me into Bush Talk Radio, was that I just found several things, and would come into towns that they tell about the fishing history, and that this town or that town has legitimate historical evidence dating way back to the 1st century or BC. There's one that was like 300 BC. I just find interesting.
As an American, world history exposure to the rest of the world can be kind of interesting. We get used to the way things are there, and in our 50-year-old country. And my favorite restaurant here, where we live, was built before Columbus discovered America.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, it wasn't a restaurant back then. It was a grain mill that sits right beside a little river.
Mm-hmm.
But the building itself, it was built before Columbus discovered America. So history has a different effect here.
That's interesting. Yeah. But those are the things that you could provide on a flight through Germany. Would we won't be back to Germany until the tail end of this, sometime 300 plus flights from now, but that would be interesting to have somebody along.
Lots to see between now and then.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's why I bought the flights in the 2020 version. That sprung for it was because, I mean, look around you. I see buildings. I see grass. I see trees that look like trees.
Yeah, there's cities and towns that look like cities and towns, and scenery that looks like, well, if you haven't seen it before, it looks like real world. So it's close enough.
It must look like that, right?
That's right.
Looks like my town would. I imagine. Oh, I think that might be a helipad right below us here.
Yeah, there's a little airport right there.
Yeah, to the left, right over here, there's a square box on top of this building I'm descending on. And it's kind of shaded differently. Maybe not. Right on my left, right there.
Yeah, I see one with a blue roof there.
Yeah.
Don't see a helipad.
Yeah, I don't see a helipad either. That's why I said maybe not. Man, Tokyo. Oh, Tokyo's got a lot of. You talk about pad hopping. We can do some pad hopping in Tokyo. I think some of these I may plan for shorter trips just because, like, Istanbul is going to be pretty intense if you want to stop and see any of the. There's a helipad in it that's like a Space Needle. If you've not been to Istanbul, it's a really neat heliport. I'm off. Are you to my left?
Yeah, I'm on your left and behind you.
Okay, because I see something that's basically my altitude, about 1800. I'm looking at radar, not behind me.
1500.
Yeah. I was quite a bit lower. It's showing yellow. You can probably get closer to me now. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Quite a bit closer. You're about 500 foot above me.
Do you have your radar on your center? Oh, you don't have the 145. I'm sorry.
No.
That's right.
135.
Yeah, I'm seeing your aircraft. I mean, straight.
Okay, well, that's cool. Pretty
much straight behind me, and I'm a little off the flight plan, I think.
Not far, because I just put it on autopilot and have been following along, looking at the scenery.
Okay, well, let me go to nav and see if. Yeah, you're right. I hadn't turned. Not far. See that the 145 is really, they put some detail in it. I don't know. You can see You're not watching my Twitch stream, though, are you?
Well, I've got your what you're streaming here on.
No.
Discord.
No.
Twitch I'm not as involved with. I don't think I've got you on Twitch. I'll have to see if you've got a link here somewhere.
I'm going to drop a link in your DM and my ugly mug comes right up on the top. Sorry about that. I'll fix that. See,
That's just fun.
I believe being genuine. I want to show me when I'm representing me. So I seldom have an icon or an avatar or anything like that. In fact, on Discord, what you see is my family crest. And if you look close to that, you'll see the tent I was talking about at the bottom right. I think that traces us back to either the tribe of Dan or one of the Levitical tribes. I'm not understanding why this isn't turning, though. It's still 2.4 miles. Maybe I had that as a... Do you need fuel?
Control freak ahead of you. He's landing there.
Okay.
And I'm 2 miles out.
Do you need fuel?
No, I don't need fuel.
Okay. See, I see you, the bottom on my right, in front of me. You're not Convel Adam?
Yeah, that's me.
See, I'm showing you ahead of me on my right, very low.
Yep.
Looking like you're dropping down to the airport.
Yep, and Control Freak is directly left of me.
Okay, are you going to stop there?
Don't need to. Are we going on?
I'm just following the flight plan at altitude. Like I said, it's because I'm going basically twice as far today. It's going to be already about a 3-hour flight total. I flew it once, and I pretty much flew it at altitude. So if anybody wanted to stop, it's going to be, it's about 2.5 hours without any, legitimate stops. And we got a couple of airports we can fuel at. So, yeah, if you don't need this one, for me, I preferred just to go on ahead.
Yeah, I tend to turn the fuel consumption off on group flights, just like I turn the crash damage off on group flights, because I don't
Roger.
reload.
Right.
Goes wrong.
Understood. Well, again, back to my inept ability. There goes my turn of flying helicopters to begin with. I'm not totally incapable, but a lot of these guys can. Oh, I watched a guy take that R-44 this morning, and he hadn't been in it 30 minutes, and he put it straight down on the pad. Now, I'm not talking about coming in at a slow descent. I'm talking he at altitude spied the landing pad, and you could watch him from a distance, know what he's going to hit, and put it dead smack in the center. I was amazed.
Yeah, and you never know. I mean, some of these guys, just like Rotorsim Pilot and some of the others, they're real life helicopter pilots, so they know what they're doing.
Well, he is. You might know him, DJ Doug.
No, I don't think so. Don't think I know him.
He's PMD 020, I think he is. I'd have to look, but he goes by DJ Doug on on the Hype server, and yeah, he's the next. He's Scottish. I mean, always flies Scotland. When he's doing a flight and you join him, you're going to fly Scotland. But he's historically amazing. He can tell you what every plot of land was 100 years ago. I mean, he comes up on it and says the Battle of this went on over there, and that used to be a bean field before my daddy was born. So and so lived there, and the Scottish rites were done up here, and he just goes on, tells you everything.
Yeah, cool.
He's amazing. But that's why I like these group flights, because I learned so much on them. I mean, somebody says something that just wow, it wows me. So, do you speak German?
Well, I do my best. After 10 years here,
Wow.
I find German still to be very difficult, but
Wow.
I live here, I work here, so yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a whole lot of choice, do you?
Yeah, that's right. And the folks at work, at the time, I thought, okay. Of course, now, you have to admit, I mean, they did that exactly right. The boss man, the guy who owns the place, who hired me, and he speaks, I don't know, 7 or 8 different languages. So he was talking English with me, and he said, okay, you're hired. You start on this day. As of that day, I'm going around, I'm telling everybody, they will only talk to you.
Now we speak German. I own you. That's cool.
That's right. That's right.
That's cool.
Law enforcement understand.
Sure.
Forcing that immersion, forcing me to use it, forcing me into the group to be part of it.
You know
And
what?
it worked.
As an American born and bred, I I value our immigrants. I respect the fact that anybody would walk thousands of miles, Mexican, Guatemalan, Haitian, whatever, to get to America, and I respect that they would come through the gate properly and, if not assimilate, make every attempt to not only learn the language. When I grew up in this country, you didn't get a driver's license if you could read and write English.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's my only problem with, if not assimilate, I hesitate to use that heavy a word, but at least make an attempt to be able to talk English at the dinner table when you're pointing at the table behind you.
Yeah, if you're gonna integrate into the American way, if you're gonna do it in Germany, you need to do what I did and integrate it in Germany.
Don't talk about me in German. It bothers me. Because the Airbus is German. We've all of a sudden, on release of the 145, we've got a large German population. Which again, to me, that's amazing. I was flying with a kid earlier that he's just absolutely pleasant, but he's a kid. He's excitable. When he sees something that wows him, he's wow, and he's loud wow. And I've heard the Germans get on him. You've got to respect this. People around here, they're talking aeronautical stuff and trying to learn how to fly things, and you're interrupting. And I couldn't understand a word of it. But when he was done chastising this kid, and the kid had hushed, I said, "That was amazing. You really, I know, I had not idea what you just said to that boy, but I know what you said to that boy." Because he was disrupted.
It's a different social structure,
Right?
And they're very. It's
Discipline.
yeah. It's disciplined, and it's very structured on the formal side of things.
Right. That's right. You respect your elders. That's how I was raised. I mean, children walked into a room, they stood quietly if they wanted to be recognized, and when the conversation lulled, they said, "Excuse me," and was recognized. Until then, they stood there, obviously waiting their turn. That's just how I was raised. We don't see the youth given that anymore.
No, it's not like it was way back when, like you say, when I was being raised.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 59. Graduated high school in 1979, Olathe, Kansas.
Oh man, no kidding. I was born in Manhattan.
Yeah, there you go.
All of my grandparents were potato farmers in Eskridge. Do you know where Eskridge is?
Yeah, I got a pretty good idea.
It's an itty bitty little town in Chalk County. And Chalk County consists of a cemetery. That's basically Chalk County.
Yeah, my dad's side of the family relatives are all from down around Sylvania, Neodesha, Independence, Kansas.
Yeah, I've got an aunt in Independence, Missouri, just across the water, and one of my first the best trucking company job I ever had was special dispatch out of North Kansas City. So I'm very familiar with Olathe.
Yeah, there you go.
Neighbor.
That's where I spent most of my life. Right around Olathe.
Neighbor.
10 years for Tyson.
Oh, yeah. Man. Chicken holler. Oh, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I do not envy you. Just the washout would I drove tanker for a little while for buying them transport out of Auburndale, Florida, and just the some of the washouts, were nauseating.
I very rarely did any of that. It was actually a pretty good job for Tyson. I wasn't
Really?
over the road for them
Oh,
the first 2 years. Then I
right.
got a shuttle job
There
driving
you
back
go.
and forth between Olathe and Sedalia.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like no touch. I just stayed in the cab, hooked the trailer, pulled it to the other side, dropped it,
Sweet money.
the next one, back to the other side.
Did you retire?
I didn't touch nothing.
Did you retire with them?
No, I met this lady and just moved to Germany. So.
Wow. And see, that's what Red Heron said. I said, what took you to Germany? He said, a woman.
Yep, that's it. I got back to working in electronics here, so I'm working as an electronics technician for a company up in the hills here.
Cool. Wow, that's great. That's really great. I wish you could see me. I'm grinning ear to ear. I love finding people that that are put in my path that we have a lot in common, if not to talk about, just to be able to relate to.
Yeah, that's I'm coming from Kansas. I got kind of the Kansas. Kansas got strange drawl. We kind of drawl somewhere between Texas and Georgia, and it's not east and it's not west.
Right.
We definitely got the Midwest drawl going. My boss says that I speak Kalgumi German, which is bubblegum, chewing gum German. So it's like I got a mouthful of mud.
Oh man. Yeah. Mama spelt my first name wrong, and I said, "Mama, why did you spell my name? Why is my name spelt the way it is? Everybody else is spelt this way." She said, "Well, you just tell them boys at school that your mama was a hillbilly, and Mama didn't learn to spell properly until about the time I came along, and people started bugging her about not, being able to cipher correctly and read and write proper." And she did crosswords puzzles every day of my youth. I grew up every single day. Mom would ask me something. "How do you spell this?" Because I had a senior in college vocabulary and spelling when I was a sophomore in high school. They tested me in Florida Atlantic University and said, "This boy's smart. Find out how smart." Yeah. Okay. I didn't graduate. I don't know what that feels like. Put a cap on, but.
Yeah, Mama named my first dog.
Yeah, because she could spell it. She could write it on the birth certificate. Yeah. So I've got a lot of friends. Daphne, I've got a lot of friends that just call me Brad because, if you can't spell it, I'd prefer you just call me Brad.
That'll work.
Like I said, I go by Iceman, especially in the aircraft, because, that's kind of my... People think it's because of what's Jag? No, is it Jag? No, it's something else. What was it? Was it Jag that had Iceman, and he had a sidekick too?
Well, there was the Iceman that comes to mind for me was in the movie with what was it, Tom Cruise, the fighter fighter.
Yeah,
jets on
yeah.
the
What was that?
What was that? Top Gun.
Top Gun. Yeah, that's what they usually associate. And I'm like, you know what? I've been Iceman since before Tom Cruise played in the movie. No, I ain't why. I was worldwide Iceman, mouth of the South, alligator mouth. You don't like it? Let me get louder.
Well, that's why I made my game tag the way it is. I've never been a gamer. I started playing Farm Sim about a year before I started playing Flight Sim, so I've been playing games about 2 years. Most of my life I hadn't gamed. And the whole gamer tag thing, I don't guess I really got that. I had picked the name, but I just didn't feel like it was right without putting at least part of my real name up there, just in case folks wanted to know who I was.
Right. Well, that's like me. I like to represent as I am, not as I want to be, or as an imitation of something else. So I put my picture out there. She's an ugly mug, but I have to live with her every day. And this is we're probably past Dubai. I'll have to look at my nav maps again.
I show 8.4 miles to Topple Air Base.
Yep, 7.42.
Yeah, you just a little bit ahead of me there, you and Control Freak.
I'm sorry? Oh. What about him?
Yeah, you and Control Freak are just a little bit ahead and below me there.
Oh, is he with me? That's
Yeah,
interesting
he's just
too.
to the left.
I see you above me, and BMG's below you and behind you. Ellie John's joined him, so he's probably on the Trump server. He said, if you don't like it, get off my server. He told a bunch of the rotorheads off that night. I'm like, watch the sparks fly here. Doo-doo does occur, and it's about to hit the fan.
Yep, sounds like it. Yeah, that's nothing I need to be a part of. Not playing this game.
No. I'm not that social, but I'm not antisocial. I spent too many years all by myself in a truck, nobody to talk to but a radio.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I just can't seem to manage. I see why. I'm on basic. I can't manage my speed. I guess if I went down to the IAS button down there, I'd probably get it better tuned in. So the significance of that, since I didn't bring my low nav map back to the fore to see how far from Istanbul, did we pass Istanbul already? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay. Well, one of these air bases, old BMG back there, is going to stay at. He's not flying further, but I think he goes south 5 or 10 miles. Pretty quick, actually. I think we do too. Rachion. Uh-oh, I better get some altitude. But I believe he goes a bit farther south. He's still not interested in fuel.
Yeah.
I think we can make the whole flight. It's only 268 miles. But like I said, you're not bound to me if you want to break off. And, you got a life. Most of us do. My life is the same.
Control freaks on short file down there.
Well, I don't think it was Topple. I'm pretty sure the airport started with an A that they were going to, and it's about midway of what my flight plan was. We're going to go all the way down to Tava something. After a while, the names just kind of blend together. So I'm gonna put this on that attitude. I may slow down a bit, but I'm gonna run up here and look at my stream just to make sure it's doing its thing. And it's still streaming, looks good. Hey, say something if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can hear you, and I can see your stream. Whatever you're streaming here on Discord, your Twitch stream, apparently.
No, this is actually the streaming engine. That's OBS.
Oh, okay.
And that's because I shared the whole monitor as opposed to just the screen. Thank you. That way I'm sure it's still streaming. And this isn't going to be the most professional stream. Like I said, it's probably not sounding like it is supposed to.
Yeah, everybody got to start somewhere.
By 350 flights, I should have it down. I'm getting a camera next week. The next step's a green screen to put behind me. Maybe. I may just go with that big American flag behind me.
That'd work too.
I've got an American flag back there that I sing on Smule. Are you familiar with the Smule software? It's an Android app. And because of my bass voice, I enjoy doing the big bopper.
Okay.
And things like that. So I have a big American flag on my wall behind me, and I use it as a backdrop with my vocals. So depending on where I decide to put my camera, it may be perfectly situated back there while I'm sitting at my desk. And all the big streamers are advising me not to do this without a camera, that people don't want to hear me talk as much as they want to see me stream. Okay. I came for the scenery and the aircraft, not to see my ugly mug. Okay. Oh wow, wait a minute. Is that a video? Oh yeah, okay, it probably is. What? Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. Ah ha ha ha. Okay. You can access my Twitch feed right from. Awesome. Awesome. I can show. You can access my Twitch feed right from. Awesome. Awesome. I can show. Okay. I learned something there. That big. I looked up and my face was staring me in the face, but it had an arrow indicating it was a video or playable in some fashion. I thought, well, let me look at this. And you can actually view my Twitch feed right from within the Discord environment. I had no idea. Never saw that before. Okay, so I can get rid of some of this that's running up here. I don't need any of that, really. Nosedive. Man, you ain't done with these hills yet. Don't need to do 160. But we haven't had any more POIs to have that nice lady engage us.
You might want to go take a look in the voice text and pics. They're right above where we're on the voice channel in your Discord.
Uh-huh.
I just put a screenshot up there. That's what I see on your feed.
Okay. Look at it. Yeah, that's on my feed, but don't you get a video of it? Don't you get a live feed of it?
Yeah, that is live video.
Yeah. I mean, all I'm seeing is a screenshot or a picture.
Yeah, right.
On
Yeah,
this.
just a screenshot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. You can access it right from the Discord. I didn't realize that. Wow. Yeah, this is a learning experience. What I was going to say is sometimes, and we are over Turkey, sometimes I can hit this little Bush Talk radio and it gives me local radio. And it's not tuning these. Although I'm trying them. I am back pulling 150 again. I'm gonna find one that's actually playing. That one's almost coming in. Right there. Are you viewing my shared screen?
Yes, right now it just shows a map.
Well, yeah, but the point is you should be hearing the Bush Talk radio. Yeah, that's actually Dynamo F.FM Cafe, which is that's local Turkey radio. And it will temporarily shut off when she comes on with a POI, and that's what we originally did this for, was because it follows me, and no matter where I am, it'll tune in. When it loses reception of that radio station, it will tune in another one, or attempt to. I think it's neat.
Yeah, it is pretty neat. I'm guessing if it's trying to tune in radio stations from the area where you were flying, there's probably not a lot of radio stations around these mountains.
No, and I give you one thing. On the Sabbath, these Muslim areas, they shut radio down. Nobody works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's against their laws. So there is no radio after sunset on a holy day or on a Sabbath. And depending on where you are, of course, you get radio.
I'm doing autopilot and step away for about 5 minutes here. I need a pilot break.
All right, buddy. Sure. make it over that next mound.
Turkish 892, contact Ankara Center on 127 decimal tree. Good day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to need 7,000 over the next hill, if you can hear me. Well, good to talk with you too. Appreciate you joining me on the flight. It looks like Control Freak has stayed with us. Maybe he's one of these others that joined the server, and he'll join along with us again. I hope you'll join another flight with me. It'll be every Wednesday. Like I said, next week will be the last before the feast, and then I'm going to take what Twitch schedules as a vacation. For about 10 days I'll be out of town. So, been good flying with you, for real. Good talking with you. Appreciate you joining me, for real. I'll post these on the FS community every week. Appreciate it. Take care of yourself now. You and yours.
Yankee Papa Echo. Total approach Delta. Hotel Yankee Papa Echo 6,200 feet. Delta
case I wasn't transmitting. Appreciate you joining us, and I hope you join us again. I'll try and do these Twitch feeds anyway every week. If you join the servers that we're running in Discord, just follow the flights on the FS calendar, community calendar. I post them every week. Currently about 6,200 feet, 6,300 feet. AGL or ASL. Indicated airspeed about 120. The advantage of tuning into the Discord servers is on these flights when I post the Bush Talk Radio. Like today, I've got Bush Talk Radio you may be hearing in the background. That's live radio from each area, and any POIs we cross over, they come in and give us a little tour guide. So they should stay fairly interesting in populated areas. Today's a little boring. We have a couple of POIs we've crossed, and I think we've probably got quite a few miles to go on this flight. Actually looks like 38 miles to LTAV, Lima Tango Alpha Victor. And my foreign languages abilities are extremely limited. So pronouncing these names, hope I don't offend anybody. With my lack of Corcurshire Airport, we're crossing over Lima Tango Charlie Zulu, and it's right below us. straighten out. Do that again. Another note. This is one of the longer flights. I try to keep these down to about manageable 2 hours, as opposed to 2.5. I think we'll still make it in time to avoid bumping heads with certain others that are flying in other fly-ins around the world, and be able to join their flights. I want to put a shout out to Joel of Flights with Joel and his Twitch server. Sometimes we run concurrent, and I understand people having to jump off of this to go join those. Anybody who's done that this week with me, I do appreciate you joining us on it. I hope you tuned into our Twitch feed, and will do so in the future. It's been a nice trip. Had a nice talk with one of the Discord members. Looks like we're all alone for the last 30 miles. But that's okay, because I will be the first to complete 70,000 plus miles, running concurrent around the world on the world tour. Not sure I like that radio station that much. See if I can tune into Power FM 100 in Turkey. Oh, that one's not going to come in either. Try another one. TRT World TV, Turkey. Oh, that one doesn't look like it come in either. And at flight level 6.2, I think I'll start descending slightly, if I can maintain the airspeed.
Micro contact total approach on 122.1. Good day.
Going to 122.1 Yankee Papa Echo. Total approach Delta. Hotel Yankee Papa Echo 5,900 feet.
Delta, Hotel Yankee Papa Echo total approach altimeter 29.9 to continue as planned.
Tuning radio line 99.1 at Bursa in Turkey. No luck. Tuning Dynamo FM Deep Turkey, and it should come in. Look at there. Little jazz techno.
Out here, way past the Shine your radiant light. Sing your glorious songs out into the night like a sweet love satellite. Say yes, this is the way. Miss you. I love you. I forgive you.
Alpha Hotel 333 on approach for LTAV. real interesting here. What looks to be houses in the traffic pattern that have their own little airport access. I'm not real sure how what this airport's about, but we've been cleared for entering the traffic pattern. And we'll take crosswind leg.
Yankee Papa Echo, wind 266 Cleared to land runway 29er.
And we've been cleared to land.
Cleared to land runway 29er Yankee Papa Echo.
So we'll make a quick turn here and decel on the airport. A little squirrely there, sorry about that. Been cleared to land, they didn't say how. So we're just going to do it how we know. And do it as gently as possible. A little bit of a headwind there. We just touch her down here real slow like.
Yankee Papa Echo, turn mid taxiway.
And hold short.
Yankee Papa Echo, contact ground on 122.1.
122.1 Yankee Papa Echo. Sibri is your ground Delta, Hotel Yankee Papa Echo taxi to parking. Delta, Hotel Yankee Papa Echo taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Alpha cross runway 29er. Taxiing to general aviation parking by taxiway Alpha cross runway 29er Yankee Papa Echo.
Yeah, sure couldn't do this in that Bell 44 today. Rotor Sim Pilot released his alpha version of the R44 today, this very morning. Had a little time to practice with it. It's going to require a good bit of practice. As you see, I'm not the best helicopter pilot. Appreciate you joining us, though. I hope by the end of these flights I can become a little more professional in my movements. I'm not trying to take off. I just got a little high. Chill out. said cross the runway, so I am. Going to general aviation. And that nice gentleman's waiting right there to park us, looks like. No, maybe not. He's bringing somebody else in. There we go. And we'll do a shutdown of the systems. Killing the lights, which I forgot to turn my landing light on. Okay. Shut the avionics off. Closing the IVF filters. And the pitot heats. Standby battery off. Master battery off. Fuel off. Avionics should have already been off. I bet I know what I didn't do. Probably have to kill these bus ties. And both generators. Avionics off, off, and off, cold and dark. A little over, right at 3 hours. And we'll go see if we can't join somebody else. Appreciate you joining us today. Hope you'll join us again next time. Kilo Alpha 333 at ICE333 World Tour. Join us next time, each and every Wednesday, as time permits. We'll catch you next time.